This is John T for the Boxing Voice. I'm joined this evening from his hotel room in the bubble by Jordan Dujon, light middleweight prospect. How are you, Jordan?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. How was the travel up? I think you've travelled up from North London all the way up to Bolton.
Yeah, it was about 3 hours, 40 minutes. So it's not a journey that I'd want to take too often, to be honest with you.
Definitely worthwhile for a televised fight, though, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely.
COVID test done and you've got to isolate now, what, for 24 hours?
Yep, 24 hours. We get the results in the morning, and then check weighing.
Excellent. So how's training gone for the fight?
Yeah, I mean, the best that it could have been. It's been known. I've got about 10 days notice for this fight. So it's a case of I've always been ticking over anyway. So it's just upping the intensity over the last sort of 10 days. But yeah, no, it's been all right.
And how's the last year been? Because for many fighters, including yourself, couldn't be active because of the pandemic. There have been some boxing fights, but few and far between. You were motoring along quite well. You had your debut and then you wrapped up 4 fights quite quickly, but you've been inactive the whole year. So has that been a frustration for you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, with my second year, the last year in COVID, I pretty much wanted to get another 5, 6 fights out and looking to start challenging for an English or Southern Area title towards the back end of last year. So yeah, it's been frustrating, especially seeing my teammates get onto TV bills, and I was stuck in a place where there was nothing I could have done. It was just wait along like most other boxers and just wait for the opportunity.
Fair play, and it has been frustrating for many. Well, look, the opportunity is now here, as we say. We're getting near the end of I say the end of the pandemic. It seems that things are easing, and the vaccination will be out there, and hopefully by the summer we'll have a lot more small hall shows. I think you've fought at York Hall 4 times, and get those fans back in there. So you're out on a televised fight on an IFL TV card on Friday. You're fighting a gentleman called Carl Fail. What do you know about Carl?
I know he's a highly decorated amateur. I've seen a couple of his fights over the years from when I was an amateur. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
On paper, it looks a real good fight. You know, some of the people I know in the industry, certainly at the lower level, that have just turned over as pro, they're like, wow, what an amazing fight, considering you've got yourself, who's 4-0. So you're undefeated yourself, and there's a lot of noise around you that you are going in that direction, for like Southern Area title, English titles. That's the potential you have. And yet Carl Fowl, his pedigree as an amateur is also, as you've just mentioned, very good. He's very decorated. It looks like a 50-50 fight on paper, and a very big risk, if you don't mind me saying, for both of you. Him on his debut, and you're motoring along quite nicely. Was it easy for you to take this fight with 10 days notice?
For me, it was easy to take, purely for the reason being that regardless of his amateur pedigree, I believe in my own ability to get further and past these sort of guys. And especially for where I want to get in the sport, you need to be beating people that are considered 50-50 fights. But yeah, 10 days notice. Ideally, you would have liked longer to prepare for it, but like I said, they're ticking over on all year round. So for me, it was a no-brainer.
So in terms of making the weight with 10 days notice, you obviously were fit and ready. You did exactly the right thing, because there were many pros who were getting frustrated, and then when a call has come, they're like, oh, I can't shift like half a stone or a stone in a week or whatever it may be. So you haven't got any concerns about the weight?
No concerns, no.
Excellent stuff. And what kind of style were you expecting from Carl? You said you don't know too much apart from him being highly decorated amateur, and you've done a bit of research there. Have you got a plan? Well, you'll have a plan, but is there certain things you're looking that he might bring?
To be honest with you, I think it's a bit difficult to try and gauge what sort of style he's got, because as an amateur boxing is completely different to a pro style. I don't know how long he's been preparing to turn over and have his professional debut, but I expect a completely different style of fighting from himself, because amateurs, it's all quick, fast paced, just point scoring. Whereas professional boxing is the hurt business. You sit down on your punches a lot more. So it'll be interesting to see what he brings to the table. And it's something that you only really find out once you're in the ring.
Well, look, it looks like it's going to be a great, I think it's the opening fight of the night. And as I said, it's a nice 50-50 one with 2 huge young prospects. So good luck to you there. And I'm sure you won't look past him. And I have spoke to Carl myself today, and exactly the same there. He wouldn't look past you. But should you win, is it the plan still that you'd want to get out as much as you can over the next year and try and rack up getting towards double figures and maybe going for those Southern Area English kind of titles?
Yeah, definitely. So literally straight off the back of this one, there's another fight that I'm highly interested in. So it's a case of just racking up the points, racking up the fights, sorry, not the points, And yeah, and just keep pushing.
You mentioned that other card. I don't expect you to sort of like name what it is or who maybe. Would that be quite soon after?
Well, it's nothing confirmed. It's more so a case of just I've got my eyes on a few people, and them fights need to happen.
Anyone in particular?
I'll reveal after the fight, mate.
Fair play. We'll get that in your post-fight interview then if you win, and you can then call them out. That's good. Just while I've got you on the phone, at your weight and your division, who do you think is maybe the top at British level at the moment? There's some good fighters. We've had a lot of them on the show recently. I guess at 154 pounds, you got Kieran Conway, Ted Cheatham, JJ Metcalf, Hamza Shiraz, to name a few. Who would you say is probably number one in Britain at the moment?
Number one in Britain? I mean, that's a bit of a difficult one. I've sparred with Hamza. He's a good lad. So he's definitely got to be up there. I think you've got to give Ted Cheeseman for what he's done so far, in terms of the titles that he's got, and had a few more. Who else is up there? 154. Fitzgerald.
Scott Fitzgerald, Anthony Fowler.
Anthony Fowler. Yeah, it's a stacked division. For me, this fight it's made at super welterweight. My previous fights have been at super welterweight, but I will be campaigning at welterweight. So I'm actually fighting in a weight class above, 10 days notice, but that's not so much of a big deal for me because with a short notice, I probably wouldn't have made welterweight. So super welter is perfect.
Excellent. All right. So if you're fighting at welterweight, then I will ask you just before I let you go. Did you watch the Josh Kelly Avanesian fight?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think?
Well, I've actually had a few interviews on this one on just what I thought of the fight. Josh Kelly is a world-class boxer, world class. I think he's got to lose a bit of the flair and just stick to more of the punishing basics. Because I don't know if it's a weight cut issue or if it's I don't know what it is, but he seems to get drained after about the fourth round. So he has to find a style or change something to start bringing that the way he starts the first round all the way through.
Yeah, he started very, very lively, didn't he? And then Avanesian, maybe in his power and his endurance, just saw him through there. Great fight. Now, that was looking like a collision course if Kelly had won that with Conor Benn, providing Conor Benn comes through against Vargas. Do you think Conor Benn will have a shout of beating Avanesian should he come through against Vargas?
That's an amazing fight. And I could see that just being a war all night. Conor Benn's going to stand there. He's going to give as good as he gets. No, it's a class fight. In terms of who the winner will be, I can't. That's the first time I've actually seen Avanesian, so I don't know too much about him, but I was impressed.
I don't think it would be a long night, that fight, that's for sure.
No,
whoever wins, but a good 50-50. And just one last one at that weight. There is still a bit of talk. It's gone a bit quiet last couple of weeks, but we were getting a bit excited, maybe a bit late, but Amir Khan against Kell Brook. Would you still like to see that fight? And if so, who do you think would win that?
You know what? It's been dragged on for so long, mate. I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I can't see it happening. I think both of them are way past their best. I think Kell Brook would win that fight. But I don't think Amir Khan will take that fight because he's got that much to test for him. He wouldn't bother taking the risk.
Nah, fair enough. It's a shame. It's like I said, it should have been made years ago. I guess sort of I hope it gets made and now, but later rather than not at all. But even if it is later, the fans would be sat there going, well, he was better in his prime than him or whatever it would be.
Yeah, definitely. There's always going to be some sort of excuse on the back end.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, great chatting to you. I hope the next 24 hours stuck in the hotel ain't too bad. You got your way in tomorrow afternoon, evening anyway. And before you know it, it'll be fight night. And we'll catch up with you after. Good luck on Friday.
Brilliant. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Jordan. Cheers.
If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, from title, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.